Hey everybody, Ace Channel Liam here. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Welcome back to another episode of Pokemon WTF Moments, the series where we look at Pokemon and we just go, this is rubbish. It's all a bit of fun, it's all in jest, it's not supposed to be taken seriously. I know some of you take it super seriously for some reason, and you like to go through each individual point that I make and explain to me, either in canon or IRL, why a certain thing is done a certain way, and like, I get that you want to do that, but that's not really the point of the series. But I mean, keep doing it, because comments are fantastic for the algorithm. I'm just saying, maybe just have fun. Of course, if you like this series and you're ready for more, hit that like button. Let's go for 1,000 on this video if we can. I know you can do it. I'm not really in control of it, so just do it, yeah? And of course, hit subscribe if you're new so you never miss an episode. And share it with a friend, because that helps as well. And don't forget to use code ACE to save yourself some money on G Fuel. I'm telling you right now, today, the day this video goes live, it's 30% off right now. Go to the website, go use code ACE, get yourself some grape G Fuel, or any flavor you want, because there's loads of flavors, for 30% off. So without further ado, let's take a look at all the WTF moments for Pokemon Season 1, Episode 12, Here Comes the Squirtle Squad. The narrator starts off by telling us you'll remember in a previous Pokemon adventure, our hero, and let me stop you there, mate. Don't tell me what I can or can't remember. I'll have you know I'm a 31-year-old man, which means that quite often I can barely remember what I had for dinner last night. In fact, more often than not, I will walk upstairs and upon reaching the top of the stairs, I will forget why I climbed the stairs in the first place. Don't expect me to remember what happened in a previous Pokemon adventure. Although in this case, he was showing us literally the episode before last, so I do remember, but that's not the point, is it? Another problem with the narrator in today's episode, after recapping Bulbasaur and Charmander's capture, he says that Ash is skipping down the road singing our favorite theme. Excuse me, but my favorite theme is not da 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 da. That's not my favorite theme. My favorite theme is this. The trio falls into a pitfall trap and Brock says this has to be a prank. Mate, judging by this scene, that hole has to be about 20 feet deep. Who digs a 20-foot hole for a prank? Brock, mate, get some new friends. Speaking as a former dispensing optician who was registered with both the General Optical Council and the Association of British Dispensing Opticians, I can confirm that this group of Squirtle are a fantastic example of how the shape of your spectacle frames can massively clash with your overall face shape. Like, look how fat the faces of the other Squirtle look with those round sunglasses. One of the henchmen Squirtle throws itself in front of its leader to take Pikachu's Thunderbolt, but it only hits that Squirtle and not all of the other Squirtle. Whatever happened to Pikachu's Thunderbolt hitting literally every single enemy that's in the vicinity? Ash isn't a hacker? Confirmed? After Pikachu and the lead Squirtle have an Old West style standoff, which by the way, very laugh. Such funny.
Muchas comedias.
The Squirtle hear police sirens and run away. And I just find it weird that they're scared of the police, but not of the Pikachu that just zapped their mate into the next life. Officer Jenny turns up out of nowhere to the location where Ash and the gang encountered the group of Squirtle, but how did she even know anything was going on? Like, who was around to tip her off? I was going to comment on how stale the whole ha ha ha, Officer Jenny all look the same and therefore Ash thinks he recognized her gag is getting, but then I realized something else. How awkward and inconvenient must it be for all the Officer Jennys to have to wear like a short skirt as part of their police uniform when they're expected to ride around on motorbikes. Mounting and dismounting their motorbikes without showing their underwear to people nearby must be a real skill. But then again, why am I even surprised that a woman's wearing something so impractical for her line of work? This is a Japanese cartoon.
Actually, Liam, I think you'll find Pokemon's not a cartoon. It's
a cartoon. Yeah, I know. Go on. Write your comment. Apparently, the Squirtle Squad, as they're known, were deserted by their trainers and as a result run wild and pull pranks on the whole town. I'll be honest, them being abandoned by their trainers doesn't really explain why they pull pranks on the town. Like, I understand that you could argue that maybe they want to get back at humans, but why practical jokes and not like physical violence?
Because, Liam, it's a kid's show.
Yeah, wait till episode 18 and tell me this is a kid's show. Direct quote from James. I'm sick of pizza for every meal. Could not be me. Direct quote from Jesse. Am I the only one who thinks that world domination is more important than what's for lunch? Well, yeah, since your goal is to catch rare Pokemon and make money, not to take over the world. Jesse's stomach rumbles, but it sounds more like she lets out an accidental rumbly shart. So either the Squirtle Squad dug this hole quietly behind Team Rocket, or they got really lucky with Team Rocket approaching their hiding spot from the other side of where the hole was. Either way, nice job on the trap, lads. Oh, that's a tasty looking rice ball. There's absolutely no way they'll get the name of this food wrong in the dub. Direct quote from Jesse. Oh no, they're eating all the jelly donuts and eclairs. That's weird, because we haven't actually seen Squirtle eating any jelly donuts or any eclairs. There's a comment I'm expecting in reference to the 2 points I just made about the use of jelly donut in the English dub. If you spot it, just reply to it with, "Here it is, Liam." Team Rocket try and strike up a deal with the Squirtle Squad, but Meowth tells James, "They'll never trust you. You've got liar written all over you." Actually, that's just a big R, dude. One of the Squirtle attacks Ash, Misty, and Brock, and in response, Pikachu uses Thunderbolt, but it doesn't hit the Squirtle in the water, it hits Ash, Misty, and Brock. Brock explains this by saying wet clothes conduct electricity. What, and suddenly water doesn't? Direct quote from Ash. "Pikachu, it's out of the water now!" "Yeah, but surely your clothes haven't dried yet, so you're gonna get shocked again." Pikachu gets annihilated by Rapid Spin, which is ridiculous because it's only 20 base power at this point. That and the fact that Rapid Spin won't be introduced until Gen 2, so does that mean this Squirtle smacked Pikachu into the next generation?
Swiggity swooty, Goldeen's coming for that booty.
Goldeen attacks Pikachu simply for existing. Wow, it's like Goldeen's some ugly dude with no personality or concept of how to be entertaining, and Pikachu's a girl streamer. Brock reckons they need to heal Pikachu with Super Potion before it's too late. One, Pikachu is hurt but not poisoned, so time really isn't a factor here. And secondly, why Super Potion and not just a regular potion? Is 20 hit points not good enough? After Ash has a little cry, the Squirtle Squad agree to let him go into town to get potion for Pikachu. But if he's not back by noon the next day, they will dye Misty's hair purple. Oh, you better run then, Ash, because it's not like hair dye washes out. I mean, even the permanent hair dyes will grow out eventually as your hair grows. And I mean, this is an anime, so like, purple hair is just commonplace anyway. What's the big issue here? And yes, I know in the original Japanese dub, they didn't threaten to dye Misty's hair, they threatened to execute her. But that just furthers my point. Purple hair, not so bad. How is the only bridge into town this broken piece of crap? And how come they didn't cross this bridge earlier when they left town? You know how much strength it takes to hold your own body weight up with a single hand? Let alone grabbing a rope and still managing to hold on whilst gravity tries to pull your body weight to Earth. Ash is basically Hercules at this point. The only bridge into town is now broken, meaning the only supply and trade route into this town is now cut off. That means this poor innocent town has gone from being pranked on by tiny turtles to literally being cut off from the outside world. What a rough day.
Liam, I think you're being a bit pedantic there. I'm sure this isn't the only route into town.
If it's not the only way into town, why wouldn't Ash take a safer route? His friends are in danger. He can't afford to make mistakes. Ash Ketchum is dead. Rest in peace, Ash. What the hell is Goldeen's problem with everyone? Is it in cahoots with the Squirtle Squad or something? Apparently Ash had such a great fall, he fell right back to the 1800s. Hang on. Zoom in a bit. This sign literally just says beef. There's a beef shop next door to the Pokemart. There's literally a Tauros butcher next door to the Pokemart. That's like having a sushi bar next door to an aquarium.
But Liam, my favorite Pokemon website says that this sign says beer. Maybe the video you're watching on is low quality and therefore you're not seeing the image as clear as possible. I mean, there is a barrel outside the building after all.
Listen, I've zoomed in and I've looked and I've replayed this section like 1,000 times. It definitely says beef. And that barrel's just probably a barrel of discarded Tauros heads. Ash goes to enter the shop and gets smacked in the face by the door being opened by our good friend Gary, who doesn't notice Ash and takes no further part in the episode. The Team Rocket conveniently turn up at the same store as Ash at the same time, carrying what James calls ice guns, even though Jesse's holding a bazooka and James is holding an Uzi. Now, a bazooka that fires ice isn't too unbelievable in a kid's show, but a submachine gun that fires ice? How would that work? Does it rapid fire tiny icicles? Because that'd be deadly. And for all you gun aficionados who are currently telling me what does or doesn't classify as an Uzi, just know that I don't care. Guns are a part of your world, not a part of mine, and I intend to keep it that way. Also, you've got to love that mid-90s Western localization mindset of,
oh my, it seems that in this scene, Team Rocket are holding up the store with a bazooka. But children can't be exposed to this kind of violence, so what we'll do is we'll have them say it's an ice gun. That way, when a child finds a bazooka in real life, it won't think it's a bazooka, it will think it's an ice gun, and therefore won't use it to kill anybody. Because after all, what child wants to play with an ice gun?
Jesse's ice gun fires fires out thousands of cherry blossom petals, but someone in the store still shouts, "It's snowing!" By the way, what's happening here is that Team Rocket are using what looks like a real bazooka to scare the townspeople into giving in to their demands, only to reveal that this is a trick bazooka that fires out these cherry blossom petals, revealing there was no actual danger and that the townspeople were tricked into giving over to these demands. But those of us who get the English dub weren't given this information, so those of us who were kids just had to accept that this ice gun fires out these pink petals with no explanation as to why. After Team Rocket make their escape, Ash runs into the store to get some super potion and is confronted by 4 adults wielding firearms. I always find it weird how many guns there are in this episode, which was perfectly fine to air, but a future episode that we'll get to got banned because one guy kept pointing his revolvers at people. I always find it funny how censorship when it comes to stuff aimed at a primarily young audience is weirdly inconsistent. Like a child would be condemned for saying the word shit out loud. However, Iron Man, their favorite superhero, and his daughter can say shit 4 times in a row in Endgame, and that's fine. I don't get it at all. Officer Jenny and Ash set out to find Pikachu and Team Rocket, and they come across the bridge that broke when Ash was crossing it, and Ash says absolutely nothing. Guilty conscience much? Imagine not even reporting it. I mean, to be fair, Officer Jenny didn't report it either. Like, she could have at least radioed someone to tell them about it. So full transparency here, when Ash was originally released by the Squirtle Squad, I was going to question why he didn't just get out his other Pokemon and battle the Squirtle Squad and Meowth right there, because with Butterfree and Bulbasaur, he could have easily beaten the lot of them. Add in Pidgeotto as well, he'd have been absolutely fine. But then I noticed he didn't have his backpack, so I figured, okay, maybe that's the explanation. If I make this point, someone in the comments is going to tell me, well, he didn't have his backpack, that had all his Pokemon in it probably, so that's why he had no Pokemon on him, so he couldn't battle the Squirtle Squad. But then it turns out he did have his Pokemon with him, on his belt, like Charmander, so he could have battled the Squirtle Squad earlier, and just didn't. So why not? Let's also recognize that Ash caught Charmander after Bulbasaur, but Bulbasaur at this point hasn't been out of its Pokeball yet, so you can tell which one he was more excited about catching, can't you? Ash finds everybody outside the cave and comments that Misty's hair hasn't been dyed purple. Ash mate, you do realize for noon the next day to happen, night has to happen first, right? When did Meowth grab Pikachu? It was literally in Brock's arms seconds ago. When everyone runs into the cave to take shelter from Team Rocket's bombs, we see the lead Squirtle stuck on its back and unable to get up. So Ash runs out and lies across the Squirtle so that it protects it from the bombs. He then tells it, "Save yourself, run away." I mean, it's stuck on its back and you're lying on top of it. Hardly going anywhere, is it, mate? Oh no, it's fine. Kind of makes you wonder why it didn't just get up in the first place. Like, it feels like Ash took 2 bomb blasts for no reason. Ash tells Squirtle to use Water Gun to pierce Team Rocket's balloon, which causes James to drop Pikachu towards the ground so Ash can catch it. But that's a really careless way of saving Pikachu's life. Like, imagine if Ash hadn't ran to catch Pikachu in time. Pikachu would have gone splat. And imagine if James had held on to Pikachu and the balloon had blown away, so Team Rocket get away with Pikachu. Team Rocket's bombs have caused all the trees to catch fire, so Ash asks the Squirtle Squad to use their water gun attacks to put the fire out. And gym leader Misty, with her Staryu, Starmie, and Goldeen in her party, just does nothing. Doesn't even offer to help. Ignorant bitch. The townspeople thank the Squirtle Squad for putting out the fire by appointing them the town firefighters, but that begs the question, did the town not have firefighters before today? Or did the previous firefighters get sacked in favour of a group of Squirtle? The lead Squirtle decides it wants to travel with Ash. Hang on, what kind of arsehole gets appointed town firefighter and then immediately leaves town? Talk about ungrateful. We never actually see Ash catch Squirtle, but apparently it's his 6th Pokemon now, so I guess we'll just take Ash's word on that. So at the end of this episode, Ash Ketchum finally has all 3 Kanto starter Pokemon in his possession, and 10-year-old Liam watching back in 1999 can't wait to see them all fully evolved, especially Blastoise. That's his favourite. Let's hope the series doesn't let him down. So that'll do it for my WTF moments for Pokemon Season 1 Episode 12, Here Comes the Squirtle Squad. Hit like if you enjoyed, hit subscribe if you're new, share this video with a friend. It's bloody warm in here, I'm so sorry that I look so warm, it's such a warm day. Make sure you do the Patreon thing like these lovely people, and use code ACE for money off G Fuel. It's 30% today at the time of this video. Till next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam, keep on training.